and gentlemen, welcome to tomorrow's Racing League in the Memorial 90, brought to you by Team Fitz Gaming. Got a lot coming your way tonight. Super excited. It's Memorial Day weekend. Make sure you grab you a cold beverage. We're about to get started here. Only at Team Fitz Gaming.
Level up.
As I said, welcome to Team Fitz Gaming, broadcasting live from Talladega Superspeedway. The Memorial Day 90, brought to you by Team Fitz Gaming. 90 laps of this 2.5 mile high bank superspeedway. Guaranteed to see some side-by-side action, brought to you by Tomorrow's Racing League. If you're interested in joining or want to check it out, go to www.tomorrowsracing.com, or you can head on over to iRacing.com, do a search in the league directory for Tomorrow's Racing League. These guys will be more than happy to see you come aboard. Enjoying some amazing drivers do what they do every week. A lot of stuff to talk about tonight, including this 90 lap race. It's going to be pretty intense. These drivers have been practicing all week long. So get ready for what's going to be some action-packed racing, as it always is. While we're getting ready and these drivers are warming up and getting ready, while they're qualifying, why don't you head on over to our Twitter at Team Fitz Gaming, FITTS Gaming. Give us a follow over there. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, follow the channel, hit that notification bell to let us know anytime we've got new content coming up, when we're getting ready to stream like we are tonight, or any content that Team Fitz Gaming posts. Dale Warnerberg putting up the fastest lap so far tonight. Actually, Creighton Carter now putting him off the pole there. Fast lap of 53.462. Harry Ware, P2 right now to 53.492. Jacob Walker on track now with a 53.595. As these drivers get ready, with just 2 minutes remaining here qualifying at Talladega Superspeedway. As the 21 drivers that'll be signed up to take the field tonight, only 17 have taken lap time so far. Anybody that's a fan or knows anything about Talladega Superspeedway knows it's not where you start, it's who you teamed up with to be successful and get to the front. We're gonna see a lot of that tonight. Seth Knoll now putting up the fastest lap at a 53.115. Fastest only by hundredths of a second. With 58 seconds remaining here at qualifying. Make sure you join us every Friday night here at Team Fitz Gaming, where we broadcast the B Xfinity Series, or the B class cars, with Tomorrow's Racing League. Head on over to Tomorrow's Racing League or tomorrowsracing.com to find out more information about what they have to offer and how you can join this great league. That's where all the excitement is, that's for sure. We know you got a choice in leagues, but tomorrow's racing league will value you. I really don't know. That's pretty made up, but it sounded good. And hopefully nobody from the league is listening because I'll probably be fired. 10 seconds left before these drivers get gridded up to take on the Super Speedway at Talladega. Sun's going down. Track's going to be cooled off. Cars are going to be grippy. It'll be very interesting to see who come out tonight victorious. As our in-race director, they're giving a speech to the field as they get ready to go green here at Talladega Motor Speedway. Got quite a few rules tonight. It is 90 laps. They've got 3 faster pairs, so we're going to see some action. We're going to see a little bit of risk taken, at least by a few drivers. I imagine early it's going to be fairly tame. But with Talladega, you never know, and it's a self-cleaning track. Something happened up high, it's certainly going to end up down low here tonight with tomorrow's racing league. Seth Knoll into 3 machine tonight. Going to lead everybody off to the green flag here at Talladega Motor Speedway.
Correct. Also remember that the leader will go on green and all one for the race.
And as our race director there continues to provide some additional instructions to this field tonight of 21 drivers. We'll see if we can get in touch with our leader real quick. Guy who took the pole.
You're talking about bump drafting, correct?
See if we can get him in the broadcast booth here real fast.
There is a bump drafting rule in place for the last way to go.
Hey Seth, it's Sean from the broadcast. Sorry, you got a copy?
I hear you.
Hey bud, looks like you qualified up front tonight. You think you got something to stay up there?
Well, we got the fastest car according to qualifying. We're just going to try and hold our track position and see what the pack's doing. If they start getting squirrely, we'll go to the back and just ride it out.
You think that's everybody's plan tonight, to see what happens here and play it safe maybe early?
I wouldn't say everyone. It's a good amount of people, though.
Good deal, bud. Well, listen, good luck tonight. Hopefully we'll be talking to you here a little bit later.
Thank you. Good luck in the booth.
Thanks, bud. Now with Seth Knoll, our P1 pole position. Gonna bring us to the green here. As the drivers come off turn 3, or turn 4 rather. As they come across that long tri-oval straight here at Talladega Motor Speedway. Start-finish line is not in its traditional place. Start-finish for Talladega is past the tri-oval, down closer to turn 1. As the pace car heads down pit road, Seth is waiting for the green flag. As we get ready to do this, tomorrow's racing brings to you the Memorial Day 90 at Talladega Motor Speedway. Green flag is in the air, and the drivers are underway. 2 by 2 as they lead down into turn 1. Everybody's working to get tucked up behind their partner in front of them, see if they can make some way. David Williams is back there at P6, making his way to the front. Driver's taking it off into turn 3. It looks like we're going to have a fairly clean start of the race. Let's ride on board with David Williams. Wide open. 186 miles an hour in the high banks here at Talladega Motor Speedway, turn 1 and 2. Let's ride on board our leader, Seth Knoll, here on the outside of Jason Moscow. Probably going to mispronounce that in about a million different ways. Alexander Russell P3 right now. Riding on the bottom as we come to lap 3 here at Talladega. Lap time's obviously much faster during the race and qualifying, some 4 seconds faster compared to what these guys were running. Isaiah Dupree now back in the P5 position on the outside line. As these drivers wind it out along the backstretch. Two by two, coming out of turn 4. Nobody's broke out of line yet. It's going to be nice and tame early. These drivers know what they've got to do. They've got to get to lap 90. Doesn't look like any single line has a high run tonight or a big run tonight. That'll be beneficial to everybody. A lot of pushing and shoving up here towards the front. Side-by-side action coming through the tri-oval into start-finish line and off into turn 1. Outside line with Seth Knoll there, nosing out just in front of Jason Moscow. As we cycle back through the field here and round out your top 5, Jason Moscow P1. Even though that's going to change fairly often. Actually, it looks like the outside line there thought he was going to peek out. See if he could cause something. We have some 3-wide racing now. As Seth Knoll goes to the top, goes to the high side, 3-wide now, 2 rows back. 3-wide, we have some contact, and they're spinning. Spinning here at Talladega Motor Speedway. Our leader caught up in that. Along with several other folks involved there. Caution is out. That green flag racing lasted a total of 6 laps out here at Talladega Motor Speedway. As we're under caution at the Memorial Day 90, tomorrow's Racing League. Looks like everybody's back rolling. Man, and that had our pole sitter, Seth Knoll, in it. That was a rough A rough few minutes there for him in that famed 3. Our new leader. Looks like it's going to be Jason Moshkow. Sean Wilder in P2, Isaiah Dupree P3, P4, David Wernerberg, and Alex Russell rounding out your top 5. Obviously tonight, these drivers have 3 faster pairs available. So it won't be the end of those drivers' nights. Obviously, you want to use that faster pair a little more conservatively than what they'll have or what they're having to do now, with just not even 10% of this race over with. You want to be really careful with those. Be interesting to see if some of these guys is involved in the wreck. If they hold off on using those faster pairs, in lieu of hopefully saving those for later in the race. So while we have the opportunity, we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break. A lot of racing here left to come. We're gonna go green with 80 laps still to go here at Talladega Superspeedway. Team Fitz Gaming's bringing you tomorrow's Racing League, Memorial Day 90, patriotic schemes flying all around tonight here at Talladega Superspeedway. We'll be right back. And we're back here tomorrow at Team Fitz Gaming. Tomorrow's Racing League Memorial Day 90. Brought to you by Team Fits Gaming. We got a lot going on here, guys. I apologize. Make sure you go to Team Fits Gaming, the YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, follow, hit that notification bell, get notified anytime we get ready with new content to come out to you. Make sure you head on over to the Twitter account as well. We got one of those around the Twitter machine at Team Fits Gaming, FITTS. Sole provider, exclusive provider, however you want to call us, of tomorrow's racing leagues. Racing action here. If you're interested in joining the league, make sure you head on over to tomorrowsracing.com. A nice new website there, ready for you to come exploit and explore. These drivers get ready to go back. Green flag racing. 80 laps to go as soon as they take the green flag here at Talladega Motor Speedway. And talking with my race director during the commercial break, a couple things that it's good to know as we continue through. Bump drafting has been outlawed until 20 to go. That was the cause of that wreck. We'll see how that affects the racing tonight. As our pace car ducks down pit road, I'm sure it won't be the last time we'll see him, though. These cars ease on into that tri-oval, heading all the way down the start-finish line, which is a little bit closer to turn 1 here at Talladega Motor Speedway. And green flag is back in the air with 80 laps to go. Talladega. 2 by 2. We got some folks follow back to the back, talking to our pole sitter earlier, right before the race started. He's under the thought process and that going to the back is probably the safest thing to do. And sure enough, he was right, being caught up in that lap 7 accident on the backstretch here at Talladega. Moving to the back now seems like the safe place to go. These guys have got 3 fast repairs tonight, utilized to get those cars back in good shape. So it will not be the last time we talked to Seth Knoll and many others. One guy that didn't go to the back. That's right. Still trying to figure some things out in race control or in the broadcast booth. One guy that did not go to the back whatsoever. It's that 24 machine, Jason Machu, going into turn 3 now. Battling it out with Sean Wilder, Dale Wernerberger, and Isaiah Dupree. Wernerberg, Isaiah Dupree here. The top 4s are side by side, coming back down in through the tri-oval, going to start finish line. 3 wide racing there for a second, now back to 2 wide. The field starts to get spread out just a little bit with our top 10 fairly close. Looks like the pack is starting to separate there a little bit. Talking to race control here during the commercial break, as I said a few minutes ago, these drivers are it's against rules to bump draft until it's 20 to go here at Talladega Motor Speedway tonight. So we shouldn't be seeing too many locked bumpers. I think that'll also kind of make the racing really interesting as these guys try to find ways to get these cars hooked up and get runs and progress through the field here of 21 drivers. Coming to conclusion, lap 12 here at Talladega Motor Speedway. The field starts to get stretched out a little bit. Let's run through your top 10. That'd be a great time to ride on board. Dale Wernerberg now taking the top spot. He winds it out on the bottom down the backstretch. Creighton Carter now fighting up there side by side. Isaiah Dupree hanging out with Creighton Carter. Creighton looks like he's tagging both lines, trying to block both lines from getting a run. Doesn't look like it's going to work. Looks like Dale's going to get on the inside of him as they come out of turn 4. These cars are super close to each other tonight. We continue through our top 10 here. Alexander Russell, Nat 6 Machine P4. Sean Wilder P5 in the 91. Cody or Cole Woody P6. Nat 17 Machine. This shows you how fast things moving here at Talladega Motor Speedway. We were just talking about this driver here just a few seconds ago. He was up there fighting for the lead. He's now settled back into 7th place. John Long, P9 tonight. Tommy Gossett there, and rounding out your top 10. Looking back towards some of our league regulars, John Long. I'm sorry, let's take a look at P6 right now. David Williams putting a show on his way to the march to the top 5. Working that outside line, making it happen. David's one of our first elder team members. That's right, David, I called you old. David's one of the first league guys. He's been around with the highest tenure as he works that throttle, getting into turn 1, up in the top 10. Looks like everybody else is starting to play it safe. John Long, P11 now. Jacob Walker, back P13. Frank Orsini, 15th. Tony Bianchi, 13th. Mason Mangum, all the way back to the back, P17. He's just really playing it safe tonight. Working both lines, seeing what works for him. Nick Lavelle, cruising around in the back. We will not see him back there all night long, that's for sure. Seth Knoll, our pole sitter, involved in that lap 7 crash. All the way back to P19. Lots of racing all over this racetrack as we get back to the front here. Nose to tail going down into turn 3. Top 10 has tightened it up quite a bit, or top 8 there has tightened it up quite a bit. Race control talked to me during the last commercial break there during that caution. Drivers are not to bump draft until 20 to go here at Talladega Motor Speedway. So around lap 70, we'll see the action pick up, even though it looks like some of these leaders are getting awfully close to each other. No yellow line rule tonight here at Talladega. Won't see guys getting hurt with that too much. We head up to tomorrow's racing blimp high above Talladega Motor Speedway. You see the whole field here gets stretched out going down into turn 1. Coming down that long back stretch here at Talladega Motor Speedway, and this for 2.5 mile lap with the high banks. 3 wide starting to appear here now. These drivers starting to try to find ways to move up a little bit. A little bit of bump draft in here. 3 wide, 2 by 2, or 2 rows back. Not sure how long that'll last here, but by gosh, they're trying to make it work. With tons of room here at Talladega Motor Speedway. Oh, we got an accident, we got a crash. Backstretch. David Warnerberg involved in that. It doesn't look like that's going to bring out our green, though. We didn't have anybody blocking the track. That's going to spread out the field, though. Create a little bit of space across to everybody. Oh, there's another accident down into turn 1 on lap 21 here at Talladega. Involving Alexander Russell. A few other drivers here. Caution's out. Lap 21 here at Talladega Motor Speedway. As the racing started to pick up there, these patients are starting to run out, even though it's fairly early in this race. Not even a third of the way there yet, guys. Let's back it down just a little bit. You can tell the bump draft rule probably not as enforced as it initially was planned by race control. I imagine that'll be mentioned to the drivers as they all get caught up under caution laps. While we get to pacing, get everybody caught up, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back for the green flag, and hopefully we get to talk to the leader right here at Team Fitz Gaming. David's not in a loud room? That's surprising. Okay. David, you up here causing shit? So there was 2 there. Yeah, the second one caused the caution. It looked like somebody turned somebody into 1. I didn't have a close-up view of that. I mean, that's what it looked like. I didn't go back to the replay. Welcome back to Team Fitz Gaming, broadcasting live tomorrow Racing League's Memorial Day 90 here at Talladega Superspeedway. Got reports that we had some audio bleed through during that caution. My mistake, guys. Won't be the last time we mess something up tonight. These drivers are starting to get double file, getting ready to go back green. Still lots of racing action to come here. If you like what you see or like to join this rowdy group, head on over to tomorrowsracing.com. They'll be super excited to get you set up, or you can head on over to iRacing.com, do a search in the league directory for Tomorrow's Racing League. You can also follow at Team Fitz Gaming. And check out our YouTube channel as well for any upcoming content. Make sure you like, subscribe. Make sure you get notified anytime we're getting ready to go live. It's action-packed racing here with Tomorrow's Racing League. As Team Fitz Gaming exclusively provides broadcasting Friday nights with the Xfinity cars every week. Again, as drivers get doubled up here at Talladega. Still got about a mile or so to go before they go back to the green flag. You're unable to grab our leader on the radio. Well, that's okay. Next caution, because I'm sure that won't be the last. We'll grab one of these drivers to get an update. Find out how these cars are handling. Gonna go green here, lap 25. A great opportunity to crank it up here, Team Fitz Gaming. As the pace car will duck down pit road. We're gonna crank up that audio. Listen to these virtual machines sing as they get up to speed here as the field goes back to green here at Talladega Superspeedway. We were riding on board as that accident happened here on the backstretch. Car still flipping down the backstretch. That four machine of John Long. Upside down, end over end. As these guys bring out the caution again here at lap number 26 at Talladega Superspeedway. Man, what a ride there as we were riding on board and seen that accident come across there. Man, I tell you what, these drivers are really aggressive early in the race, coming up on or just started lap 27 of 90 tonight here at Talladega at Tomorrow's Racing League. Everybody's out to get some get that position early. These fast repairs are definitely causing some folks to be a little impatient. While we're under caution, we're gonna take another quick break. When we come back, we'll talk to one of our drivers tonight in the field of 21 here at Tomorrow's Racing League at T-Fizz Gaming. Welcome back to Tomorrow's Racing League's Memorial Day 90 here at Talladega Superspeedway. As I promised during that commercial break, we would arrange to talk to a driver. We'll see if we can get him on the horn here real quick. As these guys get ready and stacked back up to go green flag racing, let's see if we can get Ryan Worley on board. Hey Ryan, it's Sean in the Tower. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey bud, so it looks like you found your place at a pretty sweet spot. If you can't be in the front, you probably need to be back in the parking lot. How's it feeling?
Yeah, it's pretty good because we were in the parking lot earlier. Yeah, I'm glad to be up here in the front.
All right, bud. Well, listen, hope you keep it clean, and good luck staying up out of the front. It seems like that's been a sore spot for contention tonight.
Yeah, hopefully we can stay safe up here. No more wrecks would be nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, bud.
Thank you.
Ryan Worley, driver of the #1 machine tonight here at Talladega Motor Speedway. Along with Tony Bianchi, going to round out the front row as the drivers come back down this tri-oval. Get ready to go back green, lap 30 here at Talladega. You can catch this and much more action over at the Team Fits Gaming YouTube channel. Head on also over to tomorrowsracing.com to join the action here every Friday and Saturday night. As pace car heads down pit road. Then we're back underway. Green flag racing here at Talladega. Tony and Ryan got a clean start. Looks like everybody's going to get it rolling as we turn down into turn 1 side by side. 2 by 2 for front to back. Top 10 nose to tail coming out of turn 2. Winding up down the front stretch, or down the back stretch. As we were talking earlier this evening, a lot of these drivers planning to play it safe. Just due to the nature of racing here, super speedway action tends to lend to a little bit of excitement. And along with the faster pairs that these drivers have available tonight, everybody is a little short on patience. I imagine these next 20-30 laps will probably be a little bit tamer, and you can see that as the bottom line now gets nose to tail, starts to form up, everybody riding the bottom. Everybody starts to get formed up there. The outside line starts to come down or fall back. Some of these guys have went through 2 faster pairs already and need to save one in the bank just in case something else happens before this race is out. Talladega will always provide some exciting racing, but it also includes a few cautions, and I don't think we're done seeing them tonight, that's for sure. We've seen 3 so far in 30 laps, or 32 laps here at Talladega. This weekend, Memorial Day weekend here, 2018, if you're watching this, obviously on the Team Fits Gaming YouTube channel. The Coke 600, Indy 500, and the Formula One race in Monaco happening all on Sunday. While on our way to Sunday, though, that's a Friday night super speedway action here. And just as we thought everybody's going to pan out and line up on the bottom, our top 8 now back again side by side, headed down the backstretch. Some of these guys electing to stay out front a little bit here, head to the back a little bit and space out, avoiding the front. Let's take a look at that back pack a little bit. Harry Rare, Ryan Brady, Frank Orsini all lined up towards the back here. Our pole sitter, Seth Knoll, guy we will be talking about later, you guarantee it, riding along with David Williams. Riding along there, Frank Orsini. keeping a draft together, but staying closer to the back. It's the safest place to be here. If you're not in that top 2, you would definitely are safer in the back, a couple seconds behind this big pack. As the leaders bring it down into the tri-oval, Ryan Worley, Creighton Carter battling it out for the top 2 positions, side by side. 2 by 2, first through 12th there. Drivers come to lap 35. We may have a 3-wide battle for the lead here in just a second as the outside line looks to make it interesting. Looks like they thought better of it and tucked back in. Three-wide racing now back about for 4th there. Looks like it's going to smooth back out. Guys jockeying for position. Trying to find a safe place to go to avoid what's ultimately going to be another wreck here, I'm sure, at Talladega before the night's out. The leaders, top 5 there, working to try to get nose to tail both the high side and the low side, see if they can pull away. Get a little bit of space from the pack behind them as they start to reel in. Side by side, 2 by 2 makes up your top 12 or so there. We take a look here a little bit deeper into the pack. These drivers start to get a little 3-wide fanned out. Fighting it out for some top 5 positions here. Or getting or top fighting it out to get into the top 5. Some 3-wide action heading down the backstretch. Again, not a whole lot of patience across these drivers tonight where they have 90 laps, 3 fast repairs. 3 wide now, 2 by 2. As the leaders are working to figure out what line to block and what line may get a run. Lots of movement here in the top 5. These drivers jockey around for position, heading into that tri-oval, loading off the banking, hitting the start-finish line. Field's starting to spread out a little bit. There's 2 distinct packs here. We got the front pack and then a pack of 4 or 5 cars closer to the back. 3-wide racing as he tended into 2. Contrary to the cautions tonight, these guys know how to keep it clean, know how to provide an excellent show. If you'd like to join them, head on over to tomorrow's racing.com. Newly built website ready for you to go over and take a look at. A lot of good information over there. If you'd like to join in on this action-packed racing. Field of 21 tonight. I'd be more than happy to join or have you join up. Tomorrow's racing.com. You can also head on over to iRacing.com, do a search for Tomorrow's Racing in the league directory, and then get you set up that way as well. And any one of these drivers you see here tonight, you've seen another race on iRacing, they'd be more than happy to help you out as well. Looks like the front pack is calmed down just a little bit. Back to 2-wide racing is whoa! We had a car there get a little loose on the backstretch and have to duck down onto the apron. I'm not sure who that was. Let's take a look at this backpack. Making up a Frank Orsini, Harry Ware, John Long, David Williams. Our pole sitter, Seth Knoll. Pack of 4 or 5 cars hanging out back here. 6 cars, actually. It looks like these guys are going to play it a little safe. The front pack continues to put on a show. 2 by 2 from 3rd on back. Creighton Carter showing some impressive speed tonight. Been up to the front here since around lap 10. Lap number 40 coming to a conclusion here. Talladega, we got a wreck on the front stretch. Several cars spinning. Looks like the 71 involved. Looks several cars there. Let's see if we can get a replay and find out what happened. Creighton Carter, we were just talking about him. Let's take a look and see what happened. Oh, looks like Creighton got somebody else loose. Got into the back of him. That is rough. Let's take a look at that one more time as he's on the bumper there of our leader coming out of turn 4. And that's Talladega here. Looks like he got the 4 machine of John Long loose. It turned down across the tri-oval as he was trying to save it. The byproduct of that racing here at Talladega Motor Speedway is caution. We're under caution here at lap 41, almost a halfway. Tomorrow's Racing League's Memorial Day 90, brought to you by Team Fitz Gaming. We'll be right back to this quick break.
I didn't plan it, you know that. I didn't mean to hurt you, darling. I wasn't ready, we both weren't. But look at you, you're everything I want. Just give me another chance to show you. Please hear me. I'm just trying to tell you, come with me. And we'll be everything we want to. Just give me another chance. I know I should've known better. I know I should've never taken off. I know I should've known better. Cause when you're not around, everything feels wrong. When no one's ever treated me better, I guess I wasn't used to feeling good. I know I should've known better, but I didn't know I loved you until you were gone. I'm only human, you know that. Quit looking at me like I'm something else. You're feeling different, we both are. Yeah, I've been feeling things I've never felt. Just give me 'Cause when you're not around, everything feels wrong. But no one's ever treated me better. I guess I wasn't used to feeling good. No, I know I should've known better. But I didn't know I loved you until you were gone.
Tell you what, man, his drivers are passionate about what's going on here. Welcome back to tomorrow's Racing League's broadcast of the Memorial Day 90 lap race here at Talladega Superspeedway. Talking to some of my drivers during commercial break. Let me tell you, there's some heat. And tempers are flaring as high as this the corners here at Talladega Superspeedway. So we bring you 90 action-filled laps from tomorrow's Racing League right here on Team Fitz Gaming. A lot of contention there as to what's going on. We got a lot of rules in play tonight, guys. So let's break it down real quick. These drivers have 3 fast repairs. That's putting a lot of guys in contention that maybe aren't being as patient as they should be with 90 laps to go. So we have that, and then we also have a couple rules that these guys are following. One of which, bump drafting should not be in play until 20 to go, so around lap 70. However, we've seen a little bit of that tonight. We've also seen some accusations of passing under the yellow line. So a lot of excitement and a lot of tempers flaring here. Tomorrow's Racing League tonight. But if you'd like to join this excitement, head on over to tomorrowsracing.com. Do a search on the iRacing League forums or league directory for Tomorrow's Racing. That gets you signed up and set to go. You want to come out here and put your car in this field of 21 with us every Friday night? Feel free. We'd love to have you. At least some of us would anyway. Also looking for somebody to help out in the booth if we have anybody that's interested with some broadcasting experience or a little bit of know-how. Make sure you tweet at us over at Team Fitz Gaming or give somebody a quick shout over at the Tomorrow's Racing website. These drivers are still trying to figure out and get the lineup just right. Couple penalties handed out that caution to square things up. Couple drivers ducking down pit road as well. Race control talking in the chat there to get everybody kind of squared back up and everybody on the same page. One person who has benefited from the caution and all the excitement that's been going on is Alexander Brock. Now looking to show in the P1, Sean Wilder P2, Mason Manga in 3rd place. He's got some he's been making some moves tonight, as we watched earlier, get spun to bring out the other caution that sent the Ford machine of John Long cartwheeling down the backstretch for a good minute. Some pretty exciting racing. These drivers get too wide. Getting ready to go back green flag racing here. Talladega Superspeedway. These drivers get ready to go back. Green flag racing. Alexander Brock in the, up there at the front, of course, like we said. As they wind them up coming out of turn 3. Start finish lines in a different place than most tracks here at Talladega Motor Speedway. Start finish is much closer to turn 1 than anywhere. And you have to go through the entire tri-oval to get there. That'll certainly come into play as these drivers get this race a little bit further along. The closing laps, a lot of moves will happen here in this tri-oval as folks will also run out of patience and fast repairs and have to start really being careful and managing what equipment they've got and the resources they have available. Pace cars off. Green flag racing back underway here. As all the drivers wind up those machines, heading down into turn 1, side by side. Alexander Brock, Sean Wilder bringing them to the turn 2 here, fighting 2x2, 2x2 all the way back through 12th and on. I know some of these drivers have run out a little bit of patience, looking to get settled in here and not cause too many more issues, just to get some laps wound down. We are officially past halfway of this 90-lap race here at Talladega, the Memorial Day 90 for tomorrow's Racing League. And there's another wreck in the front straight, the front top 3. Wow, that cleans out most of the field. Is everybody spinning? We don't need to replay that. That was caused. Wow, a lot of cars taken out there, and some of these guys are going to be running out of fast repairs. Wow. As we're back under caution here, lap 47, no patience tonight here in this 90-lap race at Talladega. You would have thought we were on lap 89 with how aggressive these guys are being. As Alexander Brock, well, he's checked out on the pace lap, and he's going to keep this lead under caution here. Just over 40 laps to go. This gives us an opportunity to step away one more time. Talk to race control, find out what's going on, and see if we can get some insight and maybe get a driver we can talk to when we go back to, when we come back with 1 to go here at tomorrow's Racing League. get ready to go. 1 to go here. This lap 46 caution that wiped out a good chunk of the field. Let's talk to our leader, the guy who's benefited the most. The guy that's benefited the most here with these cautions. Brock, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Hey, bud. So, obviously, you've been benefiting from these cautions. A lot of pace laps. You got any strategy you think that can keep you out front?
Not really. I'm just trying to figure out how to get this U.S. Army Chevrolet here to the victory lane. I don't.
Yeah.
Still got, about half the race to go, so.
Yeah, it really, and you know, the adage rings true tonight that either you're in the front and safe, or you need to be back out in the parking lot 3 streets down.
Yeah, you're right. My plan in the beginning of the race was try to run toward the back, and somebody other ended up front.
Yeah. So let's talk about fast repairs. How many do you have left? So let's talk about fast repairs. How many do you have left?
I got 2 left.
All right, so you're in good shape now. I know several folks in this field right now are out of fast repairs. Do you think that'll kind of clean things up a little bit?
It should. It should, really.
Yeah. All right, bud. Well, listen, we appreciate you talking to us. Good luck. Hopefully we see you in victory lane here shortly.
Yep. Anytime.
See you, bud.
See you.
Alexander Brock gonna be bringing the field back to green here in just a few seconds, or about a minute or so. Pace laps here at Talladega Motor Speedway. About a 2-minute event, it feels like, half the time. Let's take a look at our scoring monitor. Yeah, over almost 2.5 minutes a pace lap. This race is certainly starting to get a little long in the teeth here. About an hour into it, just past halfway. Tomorrow's Racing League and Team Fitz Gaming bring you the Memorial Day 90. Happy Memorial Day, and to everybody out there, appreciate all of you that have given up the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. We appreciate that. As these drivers coming off a pit road start to get stacked up, everybody gets lined up. A lot of folks now either A, out of fast repairs, B, they have very few left and they're wanting to kind of keep things clean, want to get this into lap 60, into lap 70, and then start pushing towards the front, because you're not going to win this race on lap 50 at Talladega with 40 to go. It's just not going to happen. These drivers are going to have to exercise a little bit of patience if we want to get through the remainder of this race. A lot of these drivers expressing some displeasure with some of the other field. That's going to add to the excitement here as we pace car heads back down pit road. One more time. Alex Brock, Sean Wilder brings the field down through the tri-oval now. We're going to give you a crank it up here at Team Fitz Gaming. So we go back green. Talladega Motor Speedway and Memorial Day 90. Side-by-side action of these drivers take it down into turn 3. 2 by 2 all the way back. Alex Brock's got the secret here as he's managed to keep the lead. Looks like Isaiah Dupree's going to give him a run for it, though, and electing not to stay behind Alex right there. 2 by 2. Isaiah's going to lead that lap. 2 by 2 all the way through through the top 12 as this field is thinned out just a little bit. Our pole sitter Seth Knoll hanging back just a little bit. Two by 2 as they come down the front stretch here. Gonna lap them to green here. 35 to go. So let's talk about some of the opportunities these drivers have. They've had 3 fast repairs to make up some of this race. They've also had they were also not supposed to be bump drafting until lap 70, so in front of the 15 laps or so. However, we've seen instances of that happening. The folks real close to each other. Looks like we're gonna have a little 3-wide action as drivers into the wall. It looks like that was our leader from earlier as he takes it through the infield grass. What is he doing? Spinning out down pit road. Wow. I'm not sure. That looked awfully intentional. Not quite sure what the intent was there, though. Alexander Brock still keeping it classy and green here at Talladega Motor Speedway. Ryan Worley also giving them a run for their money. Three-wide racing starting to sort itself out just a little bit. Back to 2-wide racing. Race control talking on the in-chat audio there. Talking about maybe some penalties coming down. Three wide coming out of turn 2 again, back around 10th place. As they spread out along the bottom, taking it under the yellow line there. Trying not to advance the position. Looks like he's sliding back to the back just a little bit. While looking back up to the front, Alex Brock, Isaiah Dupree. Working those lines, one on the high side, one on the low side. Getting that upper line, that top line working just a little bit there further on back. Guys look like they're checking out along the bottom as well. Not quite sure what's going on there. Looks like some drivers working on getting back to the back to help some of these other drivers catch up to the draft. Getting close to 10 laps here under green. Talladega Motor Speedway as we come up on lap number 59. 3 wide now, taking it into turn 1. 3 wide for P5. Looks like that upper line is working out tonight. Looks like it'll be 3 wide down into turn 3. 2 back, 2 rows deep. for the lead here at Talladega Motor Speedway. This is what Super Speedway racing's all about. Clean 3-wide racing. That top line giving it up just a little bit to the middle and the inside. Ryan Worley putting it on the outside tonight. Not afraid to be a little aggressive. Riding that, putting his left wheels there right on top of that wide line. So he's trying to make that outside line work as there's still 3 wide going down back into turn 3. 3 wide, 2 rows deep. Let's see how long they can make this work. As that outside line looks to be starting to make it a step back now. As I don't think they quite have the draft together as much as they did initially. Still 3 wide for 5th. That outside line hanging in there just barely. Getting a little dicey here close to the front with Isaiah Dupree. Alexander Brock putting it, making it a little interesting as they're dicing around. And hear race control talking in the background, asking a lap car to step out of the way. See if that lap car will heed the field. As they stay up, looks like they're going to end down in the bottom. Let's see how this stacks up. They actually get down to the apron. It's pretty smart and smooth by that lapper there to get down to the bottom. Still 3 wide, battling out for top 5 position there. If anybody joins up with Ryan Worley and that's Jacob Walker up there, maybe? We'll see if they could do something to, as they fan out a little bit on the backstretch. Looks like everybody's starting to be a little bit more strategic with the moves they're making tonight. Joined in the booth by Mason Mangum. Mason, how's it going? Mason, you got a copy? No, you're all good, bud. So, obviously you're joining us here in the booth. What's going on?
Not much. Just figured I'd come in and kind of catch the race in a different perspective here and talk about some of the things I see.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We're glad you did. It looks like a lot of impatience there over this long 90. And there's a wreck as they get turned in, coming down the backstretch. Now Jacob Walker and that machine getting a sideways, bringing out the caution here on lap number 63. So as I was going to say, Mason, it's kind of on point there. It looks like not a whole lot of patience being orchestrated there or demonstrated tonight.
You know, you gotta. These cars they're quick, you know, and they may not be as quick as maybe not as the cup cars when you have a really good setup and have them, you know, rolling in a good solid line. It's not too uncommon to see a lot of sticking with that one line, and then it's so easy to get sucked in, and it's hard to back off. I mean, you're driving a car that's going 195 miles an hour, you know, you can. That's pretty hard to just kind of back off and compose yourself in a matter of, you know, what, half a second, because it doesn't take much to really get into somebody, and that car is sideways. You know, there's so much wind and so much downforce. It's almost like these cars pick themselves up and put them into positions you just wouldn't expect to see. But, you know, I guess that's what 190 mile an hour racing does.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I can see that, and I don't think these guys are intentionally putting themselves in bad places. I think everybody's got a little bit of competitive spirit, and they're eager to really try to hang it out there. I don't know. It's just really interesting to see some of these guys using some of the resources they have in terms of the fast repairs and things like that a little bit quicker than some others.
Yeah, no, and it definitely, you know, it's hard to. One of the things that a lot of people don't realize, and you see all these wrecks, like, you know, you see one car involved, you know, usually not that bad, and then you see about 3 to 4 cars involved. It's a little bit worse, and then you get, you know, some of those wrecks that happen up front, and those are the doomsday wrecks, and that's involving 90% of the field, and you may not damage your car out completely, but you're going to pick up a little bit of fender damage, and so it's hard to. You're talking about saving your resources and not using your fast repairs. Sometimes it's a strategy move. I mean, you really have to time it to where, you get to a certain point in the race and you have to think, okay, well, on average, we've done this pretty often, and it's causing issues. So maybe if I change this up and don't use this fast repair or one of these fast repairs, maybe I can last a little bit longer. So I mean, it really is. It's the same. Timing everything and paying attention to how you're being raced, as well as how other people are racing each other. So it's a lot of factors that come into play, for sure.
Right. No, and so let me ask you this, and those of you that are new to the broadcast or new to the whole Tomorrow's Racing thing, make sure you head on over to tomorrowsracing.com. Mason, it looks like you guys have got a website set up and trying to dedicate a few more resources to getting the image and the league out there. Let me ask you this: as the administrator of this league, as the owner of this league, fast repairs have been a hot topic tonight. Do you see that as something that would go away anytime, or do you think that they're here to stay? What's your initial feeling on that?
One of the things that we really would love to see in the league itself is the addition of other series, and you've obviously seen that in the form of we have the 2013 series as well as this series. So one of the things that we've planned on, and this is roughly been talked about, but it's not been finalized, put in paper, and everything's decided 100%. And one of the things that we talked about was maybe taking the fast repairs out, or maybe giving one to certain series. So it's not something that is going to be a league-wide change or league-wide rule, so to speak. It adds a dynamic that adds a lot of excitement, but as well as continuous
heartburn, contention.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it does that dynamic. It has its place only in certain vehicles, and the 2013s they're not restrictor plated, so they're gonna go faster. They're harder to set up and they're harder to drive. And one of the things that we've really been talking about, considering I've been kind of heading up the 2013 series, is it's going to be an elite series. It's not going to be something that you can just join the league and immediately get into, whenever you have a free weekend. It's going to be something where the whole atmosphere is going to change completely. You're not going to, it's going to be an open set. You're not going to have, you're not going to have but one fast repair, if any at all. Again, I'm not really decided 100% on that, but it's going to be something where you have to use more strategy and you have to utilize a lot more skill to be productive and to be really to go far in that series, so to speak. So
let me ask you this: to the drivers that maybe have issues setting up and things like that, what are some of the resources available or offered by you or league staff to ensure we don't see attrition due to say when drivers have issues setting up cars, or is that not serious for them, and then the Friday night race would be the place to be?
One of the things that we really talked about, and this has been something that's been discussed since day one, you have to take into account that there are a lot of people that, one, don't know how to set up a car. Two, the 2013, as an understatement, is a beast in itself. That car is absolutely one of the hardest cars to set up, and this has been talked about specifically from iRacing. The developers themselves have told, or have listed this when you actually go and read the description of the car. It is extremely difficult to set up. One of the things that we talked about, and one of the reasons that I want to open up the 2013, is to allow drivers to really capitalize on how fast and how big of a change you can feel with such a slight adjustment. That car it enhances every aspect of racing and iRacing, and how a car is dealt with when you change a tire pressure. Going a difference of 1 psi can make or break a win for somebody. I mean, it's serious. It's insane at how serious some of these adjustments can be. So the resources we have is the B class cars, the Xfinity cars. They are fixed, and as far as I'm aware, they're staying that way. That's going to be it's the premier series for just enjoying yourself, but still being serious to a certain extent. And then when we open up whether it be, you know, opening up a Gen 6 series or just keeping the 2013s open. That's going to be more elite. And one of the things that we also, I'm not trying to drag this out, but we also are going to be setting up a pre-built set for every single race of the 2013s. So if you don't know how to set one up, or if you don't know what adjustments you really need to make, you know, you can use that baseline and adjust the track bar to tighten or loosen up the car, or you know, change some of the rebound and bump stiffness to kind of change how your car handles on exits and entries. So the resources are there with the 2013s, but that's going to be a seriously skilled group of drivers. Where there's going to be tryouts and certain races held to where, you know, if you don't meet this criteria, you're sure out of luck, unfortunately. So.
Sure. All right, bud. Well, we appreciate that explanation. I mean, I think there's some tippers flying around tonight at Superspeedway racing. We got some Superspeedway tippers. I think as we get wound down, and I think you'll see, and I hope to see these drivers anyway, settle in until we get about 5, 6, 7 to go. Just based on the fact that most of this field at this point, and you will know this, is out of fast repairs. There's been a lot of cautions tonight. There's a lot of, you know, the initial plan was no bump drafting to occur until 20 to go. We've seen that. There's been contention across folks maybe passing below the line. You know, how do we look to enforce those rules? Obviously, as this league continues to grow and put on these shows every week.
It takes a lot of effort and a lot of deliberation between the staff members. We talk about, you know, certain things that need to be implemented to, again, one of the things that you'll hear me talk on a lot is maximizing and capitalizing on as much enjoyment as you possibly can, whether it be watching this or in the race racing. These drivers, whether you believe it or not, and especially seeing this many cautions, you know, you think, kind of amateur, kind of, you know, they're racing really, some of the styles are weird and the skill level is not really where it could be, so to speak. But it takes a lot to drive these cars, and you're going 190 miles an hour. And obviously, it's a simulator; it's a little bit different. But it's easy to get caught up. And I don't know, that first caution that came out on lap number 6, I got stuck behind Seth. He slowed up big time going on that outside line, right. And it's hard to get slowed up. I mean, I dropped 15 miles an hour and still plowed into the back of him. You know, it's not easy, and it's that's not easy to handle. But it is really easy to get really frustrated here. It's sure. Plate track racing, and it was the same way when we raced the 2013s here. That, you know, they hit 250 miles an hour. That's right. You know, 60 miles an hour faster than what you're hitting here. So the temperature, yeah, you're gonna see it, and it's a lot. It's a completely different atmosphere than on a short track or even mile and a half. You know, Michigan, for one, is a very long track, and you're gonna see a ton of 3-wide action in Michigan, even 4-wide. We race surprisingly clean for 4-wide on Michigan. It's just a very wide track. So yeah, tempers definitely flare up, and it takes some time for us to deliberate and figure out what rules need to be implemented and how we enact on them. Sure. Right now we don't have like a sole race control, so it is kind of hard for us to go through and look at replays and say, oh, well, this person did this wrong or this happened, and give people black flags. So again, one of the things that I told everybody in the race, in time, things will get perfected. We're still relatively new. We're about 2.5, 3 months old, and these things take time, especially when you're growing from 5 members in February to almost 70 in May. It's a pretty big jump, and as you can see, we have really good racers and dedicated people that really love racing in the league, and they want to stick around. So right. It takes time, and it's a lot of deliberation. Again, I don't mean to drag that out, but there's a lot to go into it. There's a lot of dynamics and variables that you have to bring into it.
Sure. No, and Mason, not to cut you off, but we do need to reset. So we're back to green flag racing here, lap number 68. 2x2 now as the leaders start to get single file and thinking about pulling away. A newcomer to the up front gang there, Tommy Garrett, or Gossett rather, I'm sorry, at Andy Machine. He's been a mid-packer for most of the night, so nice to see him kind of get up front as they get single file for the top 3. Maybe that to my thought a few minutes ago, maybe we'll see a little bit of tameness before we get crunked back up here with 10 to go or so.
Oh yeah, I guarantee it. There's gonna be, once it hit lap 70, I have a feeling that third line is going to be working hard to get up to the front. You're going to see a lot of cutting off and people dropping down low. You're going to see it. It's going to be intense, too.
Right. Let's ride on board with Jacob Walker in that 72 machine. It's currently sitting around P5, 2x2 as they get into turn 4. Mason, if you had to pick a sleeper, I ask you every week, if you had to pick a sleeper tonight, who do you think's got something to make it to the front?
You know, I have to go with my gut here, and I really do think that if anybody has, I think the best chance is either going to be the 72 of Jacob Walker or the 83 of Nick Bell. They sit back, they have that potential, and they ride it out, and it's going to be quite a push for the finish. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you guys are onto something there. One person I'm really surprised to see back to the front in that 3 machine is they're breaking on the back stretch there.
Oh, man, and that involved who we're talking about, too. Walker's in that. Who else is in that?
Looks like Ryan Brady, David Williams, Isaiah Dupree, Alexander Russell, Jacob Walker, Creighton Carter backed it up to the inside wall there. As we're under caution in laps number 71, the Tomorrow's Racing League's Memorial Day 90. Brought to you by Team Fitz Gaming, at Team Fitz Gaming on Twitter. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow the channel, get notified anytime we go live with new content. Man, so I was going to say, though, Mason, right before we got that caution, who's that guy in the lead right there? Is that our pole sitter involved in a lap 6 crash now all of a sudden back to the front?
Yep, that would be him. I'll tell you, he races hard. And he has some of the best situational awareness when it comes to finding pockets. He dips in, he gets them, and then he has some incredible skill when it comes to missing out of wrecks and making sure that the last thing that he's doing is getting damage to that car. But as you can see, it doesn't look like he's got any damage to me. I think that if any, he's got a good chance too. If anything, he's got the best so far.
No, it looks like he saved his fast repairs and may have something for these guys a little bit later.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You know, I know. You look at him, Tommy Gossett, that man, he's following suit with Seth, honestly. I raced around him for a while, and he has a very good, he's got a sixth sense with this kind of thing. He's able to see certain situations elevate and get worse.
Yeah, no, I think you're onto something. That situational awareness anywhere is super important, but especially at these super high banked, fast speedways like Talladega, that situational awareness is critical.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's hard to see when you're looking from a bird's eye view, but when you're in that car, it sets up pretty quick.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as I was saying a few minutes ago, guys, if you're interested in joining, head on over to tomorrowsracing.com. Mason, I assume, and just looking at the website here, not a lot of cool stuff there, including the ability to join, and then also the iRacing League directory would be a great place for folks to take a look and see what's going on, maybe request to have access to the league. Where are we racing at next week?
Next week in these cars, we are going to be at... second, let me look at the schedule here. Next week's gonna be at Texas. That's gonna be a good race. That track during the day, you talk about some loose vehicles. There's gonna be sliding and really tight racing all the way up. So it's gonna be intense.
Yeah, absolutely. So, while we're under caution, Mason, you know, we're really fortunate to have the resources available to interview some of these drivers and talk to them in car during the time. You think we could have an opportunity to speak to the leader?
Yeah, we can bring Seth on in here and see if we can see what he thinks about the race and how it's going to end up.
All right, here we go. So, see if he's available for a quick chat. Seth, it's Sean and Mason in the booth. You got a copy, bud?
I hear you.
Hey, so lap 6, lap 7-ish, involved in a caution there, and get put back into the field quite a bit. And all of a sudden, you come out of nowhere in the top spot. How's the car feel?
Car feels good. We just rode around, waited for all the dummies to go back where they belong, and up front.
Yeah. So Mason was talking to just a moment ago about situational awareness. You're obviously now really kind of worried about Mir driving this crowd a little bit. Do you think it's going to stay single file, or do you think you're going to have to be all eyes on the Mir as you're continuing the lead here?
Dashes. Whoever gets the push on the restart will probably hold the lead for about 3 laps, and then the outside will start coming in.
Yeah.
What's your, let me ask you this, what's your preferred line? What do you like running, and what do you think has the best potential to put you up front and stick it there for the last, 15 laps of the race?
I mean, it really depends on everyone else. I mean, if the bottom's got a bunch of people that are not able to hold a line, you're not going to want to be behind them, and you're not going to want to be in front of them either. If the outside's not gaining any momentum, you don't want to be there either. It's just all which lane's moving and which lane isn't.
I will say I've been really surprised to see the likes of Ryan Worley and a couple others make that upper third line work tonight early. I think that probably going to come into play if there's gets enough support up there. So I'm sure you'll be taking a look at that and many other things as you're working to stay the lead of this pack. So hopefully we get to talk to you in Victory Lane here very soon.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, bud. Appreciate you. So, as you said, Mason, it's all about trying to decide or let the field decide what they're going to do, but then the leader's got to react. And I think you hit a nail on the head there with that situational awareness. I think that's going to be critical here as these drivers will get the green flag with about 15 laps to go.
It's one thing, again, talking about the bird's eye view, you don't really see it as much, or it's not as prominent from this view as it is inside the cars. It's that dynamic down there when you're in the middle of a race and you start getting towards the end, especially on plate tracks. There's so much bumping and shoving and drafting going on. It's like the whole race changes. And once you hit 10 to go, 15 to go, people, they see that and it's something clicks in their head and they're like, you know what? I think this is time where I need to make my push. And there's no middleman. There's middle ground. It's always the extreme, the worst extreme or the best extreme. It's either really good racing or you get a lot of people cut out towards the end. Some people just crack under pressure and some thrive under it. And Seth is definitely one of the ones where he thrives under that pressure. And you get closer to the end and he's able to pick up whatever scraps are there and he swims through the field. That's how he is.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen that multiple times. And to be honest, this league puts on some amazing shows with some really solid talent in these drivers every week. Plate tracks, as we discussed, are probably an opportunity for all drivers, right? It's all about the patience and strategy and knowing when to push and knowing when not to push. But if you're interested in joining the league, interested in getting involved, make sure you head on over to tomorrowsracing.com or iRacing.com and send a request to the league directory. Mason, this league's been growing substantially. I see a lot of new names, both good and bad, tonight. And it sounds like we're working on continuing that car count. We're up to 21 tonight. Kind of surprised not a little bit higher on a super speedway, but I think 21 solid league members is a pretty good place to be to end the week here on this Friday.
Oh, of course. And I as the owner, I push heavily towards recruiting. All my staff members, I avidly tell them, throw the name out there. You see somebody that you think would be worth having in the league, be sure to send them a message, talk about it. Just open up a casual conversation. That's what I've done a lot of the times. It doesn't take much to really intrigue people, and you get 20 people like you're talking about, and they're in a race. It's fun. And one of the things that we've talked about too, we talked about maybe doing we start a season and the drivers that are there, it sticks a little bit nicer, and that way you don't have a lot of random people coming in middle of the season, and you get to know some people. That's one of the good things. So hopefully we can get some good runs here on this next green flag. Yeah,
no, I agree. And these drivers, they're gonna be ready to go with 15 to go here at Talladega's Motor Speedway, the Super Speedway rather. And tomorrow's racing's Memorial Day 90. As the drivers side by side stacked back up behind the pace car one more time. Getting ready to go back green flag racing, and we mentioned all night long the start-finish line is certainly down, not in a traditional spot like most tracks. It's a little bit closer to turn one than anything. Not to be the one that says cautions breed cautions, but I'm almost certain that's not the last time we see that Ford Mustang. As it eases off down pit road. And these drivers, Seth Dewell, Tommy Gussett, bring this field back to green flag racing here. Waiting for that green flag. These drivers been going on green all night, and there it is. And the field's back underway with 15 to go. Talladega Motor Speedway.
I can't wait to see who gets that good push. And you see it right there, the 91 pushing the 80. Let's see if he can get up there and cut down in front of Seth. That's going to be a huge move if the outside line can do that. You're going to have a lot of side drafting, and you can get some good momentum off the turns.
Yep. And obviously now, according to the rules, bump drafting is fully in effect. We're going to see those folks really start getting aggressive as we get within 10 to go here in just a moment. 2 by 2 all the way back to 12th and on. Looks like some 3 wide even starting there on the back with a car on the outside line trying to make it work by themselves. They won't be there for long.
Oh no, not at all. That top line, it dies out real quick, especially if you don't have more than 2 cars behind you pushing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't wait to see it. I feel like in the next lap or 2, you're going to see probably 3 cars push up to that outside line, and they're really going to be going high stakes with that 3 wide action. It's going to be really quick and really intense.
Let's talk about some names that haven't been in the front here in the last 30 laps or so. P4, Nick Lovell, P5, or I'm sorry, yeah, P5, Frank Orsini coming out of nowhere. Those guys were back markers riding around up until here just about 2 laps ago when we went back green flag. Still got a good heavy car count here with 14 cars out on the track. 1 car, Creighton Carter, who led a couple laps tonight, so currently 4 laps down, ran out of fast repairs it looks like, and has been just trying to limp it around the finish. This guy's single file now back towards the lead as that outside line still not quite got it together as they come through the tri-oval.
I feel like it's going to be set up. Oh, and there goes Seth, our leader. The leader's in the crash along with the number 80, the 1793, 53. Wow, that's a big one too.
Yeah, that started right up there, like you said, with the front pack. Let's see if we can get that on replay here. Seth Noel, really, I'm not quite sure what happened there. Hopefully we can get it picked up. Waiting for our replay to load up here. Team Fitz Gaming. There we go. Let's take a look. It looks like that car behind Seth just got him loose coming through the tri-oval. Yeah, Seth went up to try to block that outside line momentum, causing that accident. Man, that's a tough break for Seth.
And that's one of the things you got to be real careful. You know, we talked about the speeds that these cars have. It's so easy to, you have so much momentum, that inertia. If you just, it's hard to get slowed down, and things happen within, milliseconds of each other, and it's so hard to calculate that and read in your mind. And I'm sure the 80 never did that intentionally or tried to, put him in the wall or anything. But it's hard to get slowed up, and you're going so quick. It's hard to make that judgment call too without screwing somebody else up.
No, you're absolutely right, and I'm almost certain Seth went up to I think Tommy had such a hard run that Seth went to go up, and he was up closer than he thought. And that we were talking to Seth there in that last caution. That mirror driving is critical to being successful here at Talladega, and that was a very good example of it not working.
Oh yeah, and one of the things that was really gutsy for Seth to do. That was one of the last things that I was expecting. I figured he would stick to that low line and just kind of ride it out towards the end. I can't believe that he pushed up that high and decided to try and block like that. I mean,
yeah.
Everybody has their own strides and their own ways of winning it, but it is. I mean, you still got 13 laps to go, and right now they're all in the cautions. I'm curious to see who takes the lead.
Yeah, we're going to go back green flag racing here with less than 18 laps to go at Talladega Motor Speedway or Superspeedway here. It's tomorrow's Racing League Memorial Day 90 race. Brought to you by Team Fitz Gaming, the exclusive provider of tomorrow's Racing League's broadcast. Follow us over at Twitter at Team Fitz Gaming, FITTS Gaming. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow the YouTube channel. Get notified anytime we go live or post new content. So, Mason, talking about some names up towards the front, and we were talking about the sleeper here not 10 laps ago, and Jacob Walker in at 72. But the person I'm really kind of surprised about, who's unleashed the beast a little bit here after riding around the back. Is that 83 of Nick Lovell there, and it looks like if him and Jacob get hooked up, I think they leave this field and get set out a little bit for the last 2 or 3 laps.
Oh yeah, one of the things you see a lot of talking about, seeing the same familiar faces and the same people every race. There's about 4 people in every single official race that we run. When they lock up, they know each other. They know how they race, and they know what moves to make. And they, one of the things you don't really think about, but when you race with people for so long, it's really common to get used to reading each other's moves and seeing exactly where it's ideal to make moves and make pushes. And one of the things talked about with that outside line, making it 3 wide, you're going to see that towards the end. And I think that, in all honesty, if Jacob Walker and Nick Lavelle, if they stick to that middle line, that's probably going to be the best bet for them. They know how to pick each other up off the ground and push all the way to the front, and that's going to be one of the best things they can do.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I wholeheartedly agree with you. One of the things, and one of the drivers, I think a lot of people may have been skeptical of at first as well when he joined the league. And, we all have those different personalities, but you got to give it to Ryan Worley in that P3 position. He's showing some improvement over the last couple weeks. He's managed to dangle his toes into the top 5 there during the last several weeks. I'm really surprised to see him up there. He's made that upper line, that third line, kind of come into play a couple times tonight. So I don't think we'll see the last of him either.
Oh, by no means. I think that, and that was one of the things I was going to touch on. If he links up to the back of Jacob Walker, and Walker links up to Nick, I think it's going to be game over for at least 5 or 6 laps. They're going to have a tough time catching back up, and if anything, I bet those 3 are going to be the ones battling it out for the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. And these guys, they're a little bit experienced with each other. They know each other a little bit. And to your point, they kind of get an idea how they race, how they run. They know that if they get themselves lined up, set themselves out apart from the field, get out a little bit, they know that eventually that they're going to give each other the opportunity to race for the lead here.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a shootout, that's for sure.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break here at Team Fitz Gaming. We're going to take a quick break. We're not going to take away from the action, but we're going to give us just a moment to catch your breath, get ready to go green flag racing with less than 18 laps to go here at Talladega Motor Speedway. all that aggression, all that excitement is going to reach a peak here in the next couple laps, as these drivers are going to go green with about 18 to go here. And Mason, I'm super excited to see what happens, but I'm also really nervous, and I don't think that's the last time we see that caution flag come out. And I also don't think we have too many people with fast repairs left.
Yeah, and one of the things you'll see, you see a lot of people coming out of the track, and it sucks. It really does, because it's going to be one of those, it's going to be a tight shootout. It really is. You're going to see throughout action, and I guarantee you that you're going to see some good bumping and banging.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we get going green, though, guys, once again, and it'll probably be the last time I mention it, Tomorrow's Racing League, or tomorrowsracing.com, or iRacing.com, and do a search for Tomorrow's Racing League over at the iRacing League directory for, if you'd like to join us. We're talking during the break of a couple different new and exciting pieces to come on board here fairly soon, so stay tuned. As we grow and get bigger, also going to require a little bit of structure that'll prevent some of the things that we've seen tonight occur. Mason, they're getting lined up here and about to go green as they come with 18 to go through the tri-oval at Talladega.
Oh yeah, getting it real tight. Let's see who gets that good push. It looks like Jacob Walker on the inside line. It looked like he either missed a gear or was not expecting the flag to come out when it did. That gave Nick a pretty good run, but now you see him tighten up. And you see that right there, that side drafting? That is one of the things that you're going to see a bunch of here towards the end. If you don't have somebody pushing enough to get past that front car, the side drafting is going to throw you to the front.
And one thing, we kind of talked about, wanted to see Nick and Jacob get hooked up, and so far they're side by side on the backstretch for 1 and 2. I'm really surprised not to see them really get hooked. Wow, Jacob falling back.
I wonder if he's got engine damage.
I think Nick can set sail on these guys as they get single file on the bottom line.
Sean is a newer face into the league, but I've raced with him a while. If anybody has potential to match Nick, it's him. He knows what he's doing, he knows how to lock up, and he knows how to throw himself into the front of the pack. And it's really going to suck because it looks like Jacob might have some engine damage, and it's restricting his speed. Right. That is going to bottle up this field, which you're kind of seeing it already happen right now with Ryan and Walker falling back. Yeah, absolutely. So we get 3 wide here for third place. Now back to 2 wide as they get wound up down the backstretch. A lot of pushing and shoving. It's going to continue and only get... Yep.
Oh, wow. We got a car upside down on the backstretch. Is that... who is that upside down?
That's Sean. Sean is the one rolling there. Nick's involved. I think Walker was involved as well.
That pretty much took out the entire top 6 or 7.
I think everybody that we talked about having a really good potential and doing good tonight, I think that the names that we mentioned, they might not have that chance now. It looks like they're going to be out of fast repairs. I'm anxious to see who comes out of pit road.
I agree with you. The only guy that I would maybe say possibly escaped that was the 72 involved, because he's now up to P3. And a name we haven't seen all night. Cole Woody in that P1 position. Franco Orsini in second place. I tell you what, man, that is probably going to be a race changer right there, because we're going to go green with less than 10 laps to go.
Oh, yeah. It looks like Walker was not involved. Neither was... Who was that? Let's see. Who's still up in the front there? Looks like like you said, Frank was not involved. Cole wasn't involved. I think those are the only 3 that didn't really get caught up in that.
Yeah, absolutely. That looked like a field clearing wreck, not unlike some of those accidents that we have seen earlier this race. I believe this is caution number 5 or caution number 6 for this Memorial Day 90 lap race. Not a whole lot of patience being exerted, but we certainly appreciate you watching here at Team Fitz Gaming, and we want to pass on our gratitude to those that have served and given the ultimate sacrifice on this Memorial Day. A lot of really great racing coming up this weekend, Mason. Monaco in the F1, we got the IndyCar race, the Coke 600. It's going to be a pretty exciting Sunday, but I think what's going to be really exciting, at least until then, is this race, or the finish of this race here in just a few minutes.
Oh, yeah. One of the things I was about to bring up, I saw Seth up there again, and I was like, you know what? He was involved in that wreck, but he might have just saved himself again, and he might have the chance. But now it looks like Cole might have the best opportunity there. It looks like he's got the least amount of damage, and I'm not sure that Walker can keep up with that speed. that's going to be a problem on that inside line or outside line, depending on where Walker starts.
Let's ride on board with that 72 machine of Jacob Walker. So and to your point there, it's hard to get a really good view, but I'm almost certain Jacob did have some nose damage from an earlier caution.
And see, that was one of the things that I was concerned about. And I saw he had a little bit of damage. I didn't notice it was as rough as it actually is,
Yeah.
which even then it's not really terrible. But I bet you that it's going to mess up his aerodynamics, and it's also going to lower his speed a little bit, which I think is why he was not as good on that last restart as I thought he would be.
No, I agree. And also, too, my experience anyway, Mason, is with the fast repairs that we're using through iRacing.com here, as you're watching this 90-lap race under caution here at Talladega, is occasionally when that fast repair happens, it finishes the cosmetic piece, but sometimes that seems to not quite repair everything mechanically.
You know, I wonder if some of these people, and one of the things that you'll see, it's been utilized in our races by some people, they take off those fast repairs and they run out as much optional damage as they can, and then they save them, and that's really strategic. But unfortunately enough, we've had so many cautions this race that strategy is it's dwindled down, and it's become less and less effective for each caution and each contact point that you get as a driver.
Yeah.
And so I think that it might be the case that he tried to save as much as he could, and unfortunately enough, he just got caught up in too much. And who knows, maybe he doesn't have damage that's restricting him. He may have just missed a gear.
Right.
That's very possible, and that's something that we see quite a bit, or a little more often than you might think you would. So,
well, just a second out of gear here at this super speedway, and how tall these gears are sometimes, it just missing something will really kind of put you back a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And
so
these cars run a 350 ratio, which some people don't understand, but to put it into perspective, the 2013s that run 250 miles an hour under a draft setting, they run a 2.9 gear ratio. So there's a huge split there, and that limiting your speed. And like you said, those gears, they can be long, and they can, it's all about precision and perfection with changing gears and getting good restarts. So
it's all about hitting your marks as a driver and all parts of the track. One thing I do want to interject with, and I'm kind of surprised about, Cole Woody, now back to P8. He pitted under this caution. Do you think that was to get out of the way of the next caution that occurs there? That's really surprising. And that puts that 72 Jacob Walker back up to the front. Frank Orsini P2. Ryan Worley, Sean Wilder, and Seth Knoll there, rounding out your top five. We keep talking about these names. Seth has been upside down at one point in this race, I believe, and still up there in the top five.
I didn't notice it up until you had mentioned it. Sean was the one that was involved the worst in that last caution, rolling upside down, and he's back in the race. It looks like he's picking up P4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's in P4 right now.
If he can get locked in,
Sean Wilder.
If he can get locked in, I bet you very well that he could win this.
And he has to think, it's just like tires, right? He's got those fast repairs in his pocket, and right now he's played it to his advantage. But one thing, and we don't have insight in, unfortunately, and it's kind of good because it's nice to speculate about. But at this point, there's got to be a lot of these drivers or a portion of the field that don't even have those available anymore.
Oh no, I'm willing to bet that at max 2 people have one fast repair remaining. If somebody has more than one fast repair, I would be astonished, because there's been a lot of cautions, and I'd say half of those cautions have involved at the front, and those front cautions involve a lot more people than just the ones that are directly involved and cause the caution itself. So I'm willing to bet that nobody's got more than one right now. And
this field was 21. 21 cars. You see how these fast repairs work, but it's astounding to think there's only 12 cars remaining in this field right now.
And one
I
of
think
the-
that's a
one of
big
the-
tell.
One of the things that you really you can catch, or you can kind of notice over time, there's just so much precision in these races. I mean, there really is. And some people that aren't as focused as others, they kind of get shuffled out, so to speak. And
Yeah.
when you get towards the end, you usually have a lot of the more aggressive and more, I hate to say more skilled because it's kind of derogatory, but I think that they're a little bit more experienced. And I think that they know how to hang out and they know how to survive, and surviving can be the key to winning some races, especially with plate tracks.
Yeah. No, and you're absolutely right. One of the surprising folks that the latest to retire, Tommy Gossett, in that that 80 machine, you know, we talked about that not too long ago about him hooking up and coming to the front, and now he's our latest victim to he's not going to finish the race tonight here at Talladega.
Unfortunately so, and that's the case with quite a few drivers, and I hate that. You know, the last thing you want to see is, as an owner of a league, is people not enjoying themselves or not getting as much fulfillment as you would really truly like for them to. It's a little disheartening, but at the same time, you also got to think of the people that are willing to stick it out and don't care as much about getting wrecked out. So as much as disappointing as it is, it's also not the worst thing in the world, because we do still have drivers race and we do still have a lot of concentration and hopefully some good green flag run, or a good green flag run here when we come to this last two laps, excuse me.
Yeah,
looks like we're actually going to have a green-white checkered from what I see.
This is going to be pretty intense to see what happens here, because these guys have been fighting out. They've been a little impatient with each other. We've reduced the field size by almost half, and it's still been really aggressive. They're going to go to green with 2 to go. Jacob Walker into 72. Frank Orsini's going to make out your front rows. The pace car ducks down pit road one more time. If the caution comes back out, that's going to be it. So let's see what these guys do to try to put together a solid run. Come through the tri-oval side by side. Looks like everybody's going to be a little patient with each other here. It's the underway green flag.
Track position means certain things in other races, but this one, I don't think track position is going to matter a whole lot.
Yep.
You're already going 3 wide, looking exactly what I told you at the very end. You're going to see it, and I think Sean has the ability to make that line work if Seth goes up and helps him. But if he doesn't, he's going to lose that momentum, and it's going to be hard to get back up.
Yeah. Jacob Walker still showing P1 leader right now. Frank Orsini now giving him a challenge for that, getting his nose out front as they come down the backstretch. 2 laps to go here at Talladega Motor Speedway.
Looks like Jacob's starting to pick up that momentum again with Ryan right there on his bumper. If Ryan can pick him up and push him forward, that's going to help him the most. And it looks like the 17's helping the 1 out there. If they can get that inside line running, it's going to be a little bit better than that middle line. Looks like Sean's not really going to have much competition, or not going to be much competition up there. And now they've got 4 wide on that top line. Let's see how far they actually push ahead.
These guys are dicing and trying to make it through, as this is the final lap here. Memorial Day 90 lap race. Tomorrow's Racing League brought to you by Team Fitz Gaming. 3 wide back for 6th. Leaders side by side, 2 wide coming out of 2. Frank and Jacob battling it out. Let's see if they can keep it straight and pointed through 3 and 4. That tri-oval here at Talladega Motor Speedway, or Super Speedway rather, super famous for last lap passes.
They got 2 turns remaining. They're a turn and a half. Let's see who can pick it up. I think that Frank might have this. Walker's going to have to get past him.
Position to get out there and challenge him. Ryan Worley going to look at the...
Got contact, and there's the wreck. There's the wreck. Who's going to get it?
Looks nose or side by side. Frank Orsini. Seth Knoll out of nowhere. Frank. Oh, wow. That was super close. Was that? Yeah, Frank got that.
Wow. What a finish. And I told you that's going to be that last lap. It's never too peaceful. It's always chaotic.
Always. Man, that's a shame for Ryan Worley, who had ran good all night, and a couple of those other guys. Holy cow, what a finish. Frank Orsini in that 60. Seth Nolan to 3. Rounding out your top 2, Cole Woody, who we were talking about, who pitted this last caution, P3. Nick Lavelle, P4. And Isaiah Dupree, who's hung around a little bit tonight, rounding out your top 5.
It was a good race, a lot of setting back, and building up that momentum and working hard to get up to the front, and looked like it really worked out for Frank there. He did a good job. He stayed in the back for a while, and he was able to pick up that win. So congratulations to him.
Yeah, absolutely. As the 60 machine goes for a spin through the infield, he's going to be a pretty excited driver in that car.
I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first win that he's had with the league.
Really? Well,
In the official races, I believe that's the case.
Well, congratulations to Frank Orsini in that 60 machine. And as he backs it into the inside wall there, he's super excited. Seth Knowles out there with him. That was a good run for Seth to come back from nowhere, too. And there at the end, you can tell he poured it on strong in that last lap.
Oh, yeah. Seth, we talked about it. Seth had potential, and he definitely, he worked his heart out, and same with Walker and Sean Wilder, all those guys. They made that final push, and it's those green, white, checkered, that track position means quite a bit. So
yeah, absolutely. So, Frank, Sean, and Mason in the booth, bud. Wow, what a finish.
Yeah, it was something amazing.
So, we were talking into that last caution how, it could have been anybody's game, but if you had somebody with you, you could get moving, and it looks like you did exactly that.
I really got to thank Seth there. He stuck to my bumper. I thought I didn't think I was going to get it once I saw the 91 jump up high. I figured everyone was going to follow him around me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we talked about it, and it's that track position towards the end of a race, especially on a plate track. It means a little bit, but not as much as what some people might think. So I think you did a really good job, sticking that out, and you held that front pack, and I'm right there with you. Seth did a really good job picking your bumper up and, just moving you down that field. He did a really good job as well as yourself.
Yep. And it's sad that it was a wreck at the end, but it's plant racing. Yep, that is correct. Hopefully I'll be back here next week.
Racing throughout the entire race, a lot of impatient drivers, a lot of cautions, a lot of chaos, but you're only going to get that here at tomorrow's Racing League.
Yeah, and one thing I want to mention for sure is we thank everybody in the armed forces, law enforcement, anybody that decides to put their life on the line for our country and for our freedom. That means a lot to everybody here. There's a reason that we ran the patriotic schemes, and we want to put on the best show for anybody that's been in the service, and anybody that has gotten close to paying the ultimate price, and we honor every single person that's either put their life on the line or given that ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah, absolutely, and that goes for the same here with with Team Fitz Gaming. There's a lot of folks out there who's done a lot for this country, and we certainly appreciate it, and we hope they enjoy all the racing that's going to be stacked up this weekend. A lot of exciting action coming across, and obviously some continued excitement as we brought to you here tonight and every Friday night with tomorrow's Racing League and Team Fitz Gaming. From Mason and myself, we appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks, everybody.